When I get on here, it's usually pretty good, and tonight's no different. I just beat the shit out of my cat's cat tree. And I know you're thinking, I thought you got the temper under control, Kyle. I did. I have. Let me explain. I just moved, and the place I moved to is a little smaller than my other place. So I'm having to move some stuff around and get it situated. So my cat tree was driving me in fucking insane. So I thought, well, I'll just move it behind my bedroom door and I'll forget about it. And no. Before I'll do that, I'll unwrap one of my paintings that I've wrapped in a black sheet, and I'll take the sheet, instead of folding it up like a normal human being does, I'll take the sheet and I'll throw it over the cat tree to make it look as creepy as possible. And that's exactly what I did. So it's behind the door with the sheet over it. And my buddy calls me tonight and he's like, hey, KP, you want to go get something to eat? I was like, yeah, sure, I'm hungry. So I go with him to eat. Well, after we eat, he says, hey, man, you want to smoke? And I said, sure, because you know me, I want to smoke. So I smoked some weed with him. And of course, I get paranoid. And he says, hey, man, how about a little for the road? You want a little for the road? I said, sure. So I got a little. And I brought it home. And instead of just going right to fucking bed like I should have done, I stayed up and I smoked some more, because that's just what I do. And I turned the TV on, which I shouldn't have done. And instead of watching some comedy and some funny stuff, I decided to watch a show about people who disappear in the woods from serial killers, and maybe a Sasquatch, or even possibly a dog man, any kind of whatever cryptoid it was. So by this time, my mind is racing. Every little thing in my apartment is freaking me out because it's new. And I think, well, it's time to go to bed. I've worked myself up enough. I'm gonna go on to bed. So in my bedroom, I turn all the lights on TV, and in my bedroom is just it's just light enough to just make silhouettes of shit. Now, you can't make out anything. You just can make what it is. What do you think it is? Well, the second I walked in my bedroom, I shut my door, and that cat tree appeared with that black sheet over it. And it was all like Donkey Kong, man. I just punched it as hard as I could. I said, oh, fuck. And I punched it. And when I punched it, it rocked back just like a human being would. And as it rocked forward, the sheet bellowed out in the little breeze. And I thought it was trying to stretch its arms out to grab it. I thought, oh, you wanted a little ground and pound. So I grabbed it. I went to the ground with it. And when I went to the ground with it, the little thing that cuddles the kitten in a half moon like thing hit me right in the ribs. Now, the fucking cat tree's 7 feet tall. It's huge. Well, we get to the ground, and I'm still thinking it's not a cat tree. I think it's somebody. And I'm fucking it up, and I'm tearing it up, and I broke it in half. And I ripped the little circular thing on the top. I ripped it off. Well, I made such a commotion. My neighbor came by and asked me if I was okay. And, I didn't answer the door. I just kind of peeked my head around. I said, hey, everything's fine. So I guess she thinks I've got people in here. I'm some kind of serial killer. But I can tell you this, man. That cat tree put up one hell of a fight for the 10 seconds we went at it. My fucking ribs are killing me right now. Shit, man. Don't ever get into it with a cat tree. I can promise you. And my cat's looking at me like, what the fuck, man? What about cat tree do you? Well, it looked like a big black ghost, is what it looked like. No, I'm not being racist. It's just a black sheet, all right? I don't know if the soul in it was black, an African American or what, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that if you do have a problem with cat trees, you call me, man. I'll get rid of that motherfucker for you. No problem. Much love.